For today's headlines, new alert system expanded outside NCR. Removing test, quarantine of fully vaxxed welcomed. Probe no jab, no salary scheme urged. Taiwan aids to spark Philippine agri revolution. 4.2 billion pesos in damages due to Maring. Quezon City bans piggeries, poultries. Vaxxed Makati senior citizens get rewards. Complaints versus Kusi malicious. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and this is Tribune News on Q. Today is October 20, 2021 and these are the latest news this Wednesday morning. The government has expanded the imposition of the community quarantine system it pilot tested in Metro Manila, placing 19 provinces and cities under varying alert levels until the end of the month. Malacanang announced Tuesday that the Interagency Task Force for Emerging Infectious Diseases has approved the pilot run of the COVID-19 alert level scheme in the provinces. Starting Wednesday, the new alert level system will expand outside Metro Manila, Presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque said in a televised briefing 2 weeks after the quarantine scheme was piloted in the capital region. If the alert level system is effective, it will be implemented on a nationwide basis, he added. While the results of the pilot implementation of the alert level system have yet to be released, Roque said it may have been successful in controlling the spread of COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila, which saw a downward trend in infections the past 2 weeks. Under Resolution 114 ratified by the IATF, Negros Oriental and Davao Occidental were placed under Alert Level 4, the second strictest of the 5-tier experimental lockdown scheme. Meanwhile, the provinces of Cavite, Laguna, Rizal, Siquijor, Davao City, and Davao del Norte were put by the task force under Alert Level 3, similar to Metro Manila's quarantine level. Batangas, Quezon Province, Lucena City, Bohol, Cebu City, Lapu-Lapu City, Mandaue City, Cebu Province, Davao de Oro, Davao del Sur, and Davao Oriental were classified under Alert Level 2. Alert Level 1 is not yet hoisted in any province or city. Roque said areas should vaccinate at least 70% of their senior citizens, people with comorbidities, and eligible population before it can be included in the new lockdown system. The alert level scheme is the government's new strategy to curb infections without imposing region-wide lockdowns, allowing some businesses to operate at a specific capacity. AirAsia Philippines welcomed the announcement of the 4 AirAsia destinations in the Philippines that have scrapped the use of a negative RT-PCR test and mandatory quarantine for fully vaccinated passengers arriving from Metro Manila. AirAsia Philippines spokesperson Steve Dalisam said that the easing of restrictions has always been a welcome development for the airline. While they strongly push for more relaxed travel requirements, they also continuously advise the guests to be extra cautious and responsible travelers as well adapt to the new air travel new normal. Passengers coming from Manila entering Bacolod, Iloilo, Tacloban, and Cagayan de Oro City will no longer be asked to present their negative RT-PCR test as an entry requirement, and instead they just need to upload the digital copy of their vaccination cards for the S-Pass. Meanwhile, Cebu Province has completely scrapped the testing requirements regardless of vaccine status of the passengers in lieu of a medical certificate taken 24 hours prior to departure date, which confirms the passengers do not manifest any COVID-19 symptoms. While other destinations like Bohol, Caticlan, Davao, General Santos City, Puerto Princesa, and Zamboanga will continue to require negative RT-PCR tests taken at least 72 hours prior to departure. AirAsia Philippines has also welcomed this positive development with additional frequency of flights that is guaranteed by a no cancellation policy, meaning all passengers can be assured that their flights will depart on schedule except for any unforeseen factors outside the airline's control. The Department of Labor and Employment must launch a probe into the alleged no vaccine, no salary scheme in certain workplaces, a lawmaker said on Tuesday. Rizal 2nd District Representative Fidel Nograles said the DOLE must investigate the employers who are unduly penalizing its workers who have not been inoculated with anti-COVID-19 doses yet, noting that not everyone has easy access to vaccines. Under the illegal scheme, employers require all its employees to get vaccinated against COVID-19 while they impose a punishment to the unvaccinated, such as putting their salaries on hold. Nograles said that the majority of the daily wage workers living outside Metro Manila would bear the brunt of such a policy amid the incomplete distribution of vaccines outside Metro Manila. The salon reminded the employers that there is still no existing law for mandatory vaccination. DOLE Labor Advisory 0321 also expressly prohibits compelled vaccination. The advisory stated that covered establishments and employers shall endeavor to encourage their employees to get vaccinated. And on Tuesday, Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III also called the policy of withholding the salary of employees who have not received their vaccines yet as illegal. Tribune News on Q will be back after these short reminders.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Magandang araw mga katribo! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelovelo, Comfy Manalo, Atty. Lia Badillo Crisostomo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas ng mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan natin ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments ng aming programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. A new breed of Filipino farmers will be the catalysts in improving the dire condition of the local agriculture industry, Manila Economic and Cultural Office, or MECO, President Representative Wilfredo Fernandez said this week. Fernandez, in an online gathering, welcomed the 29 tillers who arrived in Taiwan to undergo an internship program to learn the latest technology in agriculture from Taiwanese farming experts. They will spend 11 months in the country and will be the model for the next batches of interns. During the opening of the week-long orientation program for the Filipino Young Farmers Internship Program in Taiwan, organized by the Council of Agriculture of Taiwan, MECO, and the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office, or TECO, in the Philippines. Fernandez said that he expects the internship program to encourage budding agriculture entrepreneurs who embrace technology for growth. The training program seeks to empower the interns with technologically advanced skills through training in agricultural techniques, exposure to evolving marketing strategies and mechanisms, and enhancement of competencies, discipline, and values, Fernandez said. Originally, 51 youth farmers were to be part of the contingent. The number was trimmed down to 29, however, after a carefully vetted selection process. The amount of damage left by severe tropical storm Maring has reached more than 4.2 billion pesos, while reported deaths are now 41 according to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. In its report, the NDRRMC disclosed that damage to agriculture has been estimated at more than 2.253 billion pesos, while damage to infrastructure now stands at over 1.947 billion pesos. However, the figures do not yet include that at least 775,000 worth of damage left to homes in Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Cordillera, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Western Visayas, and Caraga. Meanwhile, the council said it has received reports on the death of 41 persons at the height of the storm. Of that figure, only 24 have so far been confirmed by the council as storm casualties, while validation is ongoing for the rest. 17 other persons remain missing nearly a week after the storm exited the country. The Quezon City government has banned the operation of piggeries and poultries due to their threats to public health and safety. City Ordinance 2990-2020 is now being implemented, prohibiting piggery or poultry farms for the purposes of food or meat production within the territorial jurisdiction of the city. The city veterinary department said 14 out of the 17 barangays that previously had backyard farms and piggeries have phased out their businesses. City Mayor Joy Belmonte, however, reported that barangays Payatas, Santa Lucia, and Old Balara are still hosting 26 piggeries, and she vowed to close these down by next month. Quezon City zoning ordinance no longer lists any agricultural or rural zone that allows pig or poultry raising. Before these businesses are shut, Belmonte assured that their owners will be given alternative livelihood opportunities. City Veterinary Department Head Dr. Ana Marie Cabel justified the ban on backyard piggeries, saying they violate various environmental and sanitation guidelines. Backyard poultry and piggeries pollute tributaries with wastes that flow into riverways. In February, the city turned over urban aquaculture starter kits to hog raisers who had lost their farms to African swine fever in 2019. And empty pig pens and vacant lots are now utilized as fish pens and backyard fish ponds where they can grow tilapia and hito. Some hog raisers were given electronic tricycles by the Department of Public Order and Safety. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage. Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. And in other news, fully vaccinated senior citizens of Makati were rewarded with incentives this week by the city government. Some 37,000 individuals who have received their second doses were given gift certificates amounting to 1,000 pesos each. In a Facebook post, the Makati local government unit reported that as of October 16, a total of 37,394 fully vaccinated senior citizens have received their gift certificates. Makati City Mayor Abby Binay approved the release of the fund for the senior citizens incentives. and the senior citizens' white or blue cards or their vaccination cards are required to avail of the cash certificates. The Department of Energy on Tuesday dismissed complaints against the agency and Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi as malicious, speculative, and without basis, although Cusi stressed that they will answer all the allegations in the proper venue after formal receipt of the complaint. The agency also noted that politics is behind the reported complaint, as Cusi is also the incumbent president of the ruling party, PDP Laban, headed by President Rodrigo Duterte. The DOE also fined the timing of the filing of the case is curiously close to the onset of the political season, with the recent filing of the certificates of candidacy of national and local candidates for elective office. Cusi, meantime, welcomes the complaint and he is ready to answer all allegations in any forum to bring out the truth and carry the ends of justice. And that wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, Department of Tourism, Arnada Center, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council Member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Boto mo to Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.